Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and more. And we have two callers today. They are both women. In keeping with Women's History Month, I thought I would spotlight women who want more happiness. Angela from LA gets caught in the middle of a family conflict. And then Tisha from LA calls to ask, how can I have a better relationship with myself? And if you're not happy, as you know you could be, I have some great news. I just spent some time designing a course that takes my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, from wherever you are. It's the #1 bestseller on Amazon in a major category, as well as #4 on Denver Post. And I have 8 specific modules that correspond with the chapters with a companion video. So now you get to read it, as well as listen to it on audiobook, as well as get some specific pointers as you go through the exercises. And those of you who don't know about this book, chapter 1 is out of loneliness into hope, loss into faith, heartbreak into love, hatred into forgiveness, shame into dignity, out of fear into freedom, out of perfectionism into joy, and out of control into happiness. If any of those words tugged at your heartstrings, then I would be delighted for you to visit drmarissa.life. When you do, you automatically get a happy tip sheet. And then after that, you can sign up. I have a free Get Happy orientation every last Wednesday of the month. So March 30th will be my next one. And you can come on Zoom. You can sign up for it at the website, and we're going to get happy together. I also have an 8-week program and an 8-month program. You can learn all about that through my website, drmarissa.life. And we'll be back with more advice from Dr. Marissa, your kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, when we return on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where you can get all of my almost 700 shows streaming over the last 513 consecutive weeks, almost 9 years, and Also, my red carpet playlist with interviews with celebrities like Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, and more. You'll also get my new short film called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. And it got its first laurel, so we're super excited about that. And we're almost at 250,000 views. So please do free subscribe on my YouTube channel where you can get as much hashtag positively opinionated, hashtag relentlessly inspiring Dr. Marissa as you want. All right. And as promised, here are the callers that want to up-level their happiness in relationships, in their work, and in helping themselves. Enjoy.
Next, we have on the line from LA again, it's Tisha Marina Bernard. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi, Tisha. All right. If you are not driving, could you put your feet on the ground, your palms up, and your eyes gently closed? We're going to connect through breath, taking a deep breath in and releasing, opening the heart, and one more deep breath in. Good. Connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, and releasing all the stories and the drama. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And Tisha, it is Valentine's month, so we're talking about relationships or relation-shiitakes. What relationship would you like to talk about today? It can be to your job, it could be to friends or a significant or insignificant other. What would you like to talk about?
I would like to talk about the relationship with myself.
Ooh, there seems to be a theme here. That was our first caller as well. I love that topic. It's all about me, right? No, it's one that we don't learn about it. All we learn, well, that's not true. We learn that it's not a good thing. You're not supposed to be selfish and self-centered. But as a result, we kind of beat up on ourselves too much. But I'm asking your question. What's your question for me?
I'm not sure the question.
Okay.
I just would like to work on putting myself first more often and better self-care. The field I am is serving others and communities, and I give a lot. And a lot of times I forget to give back to myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are some things that you want to do more of that you don't, that would qualify?
Well, I used to be in a daily habit of exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I have definitely let that go almost to the point where I forgot that that's what I do and who I am.
All right. And what kind of exercise do you like to do?
I am a hula hooper.
Hula hooper. All right. Well, that's that you don't have to go to a gym for that.
No.
All right. And what else?
Taking time to sit and eat a meal. It's often in a car, or even last night, I realized I made a meal and then I just walked around the house eating it while I was getting other things done.
Okay. Multitasker. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
On steroids?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Double shot.
Yes. Yes. So you're a type A plus.
Yeah. S plus.
Okay.
And I feel like my body's almost used to that.
Mm-hmm.
That energy. So when I sit down, it's like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Uh-huh.
We don't know how to sit here.
You're being lazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would you happen to be a perfectionist?
Oh my gosh, yes. How'd you guess?
I don't know. So the recovering overachiever part of you. So do you also have maybe tendencies towards control freak? You like things a certain way?
Yes.
Okay. Thought I was going to have to bust you there. I only say that because usually those three come together: overachieving, perfectionism, and control freak.
Yeah. I never thought about that before.
Yeah. So and then the unfortunate thing about perfectionism are there days where you go from perfectionism to procrastination to paralysis.
You know me so well.
I know myself so well. Yes. I have not been spying on you. Jarvis did not give me a heads up or anything. So yes. So there's going to be two things that I'm going to prescribe to you from my Balanced Toolkit.
Okay.
All right. One is there is no gun to your head to be on the schedule that you're on. The only person that's doing it is you.
Yes.
You're your own worst critic. You're your worst slave driver. You're the voice that says, but you haven't done this, and you haven't done that, and you have to do this, and you better do that, and you still haven't finished this, and why haven't you completed that? And you said you were going to do this.
Yes. Those are the voices.
Yes, that voice is your critic. Who was very critical of you when you were young?
My parents.
Okay. So give me the first initial of who was more critical, your mom or your dad?
Mom.
Okay, what was I'm not going to say her name out loud because just in case she's listening. So what is the first initial of her name?
M.
Okay, so we're going to call her Mary.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
Mary is your critic in your head who is saying all those things. And so the first thing you have to do is stop listening to Mary and stop jumping when Mary talks. Every one of us has a critic. My mom's name's Rose, so my critic's name is Rose. And Rose, I don't need my mom around. I've internalized Rose so well. She's thousands of miles away, but Rose can drive me crazy because she's driving my life car. She's constantly telling me where to go, how to be dressed where I go, what I haven't done, what I should say, what I haven't said right. So that is crazy making stuff. And that is the voice that keeps you from creating your habits, from stopping and just stopping and saying, right now, I get to go and hula hoop for 30 minutes. Every night at 7 o'clock, that's my habit. I hula hoop at 7 o'clock. That's just the habit. Or when I wake up in the morning, after I brush my teeth, I get to go stand on the patio and hula hoop for 15 minutes. Yes, but you haven't emailed that person and you need to email this person. You need to call this person. Maybe I could hula hoop and call at the same time. And you just say, Mary, thank you very much for your opinion. You have got to be super tired. You've been working. You kept me up all night. Have a seat and watch me hula hoop. I got this new move. And you better stand aside because I'm going to hit you in the face by accident. So, Mary, and you don't want to kill Mary. Isn't there a movie called Kill Mary or something? Is there? Okay. So something about Mary. So you don't want to kill her and you don't want to put her in the trunk. You just want to put her in the passenger seat. You're driving your life car. You put Mary in the passenger seat. All right?
Right.
When Mary's in the passenger seat, then you are going to develop balanced, centered Tisha. Because balanced, centered Tisha is super, super weak. Because Mary just goes, pushes her over, move over, I'm driving. So Tisha has to start gaining some strength. And the way she works her muscle is by exercising it. So every time you say, thank you very much, Mary, but we're going to hula hoop. Thank you very much, Mary, but we're going to take a walk. Thank you very much, Mary, but we're not going to think about that situation because we did everything we could. Thank you very much, Mary, but you got to be tired. Have a seat. Thank you very much, Mary. I couldn't have done it without you when I was young because I needed you. But right now, you're like a raft on my back and there's no more water around. When I was young, there was water and I needed you. But right now, there's no water for miles and I'm still carrying you on my back. Have a seat.
Right.
Okay? So
Okay.
as you develop, and the only way that Balanced Center Tisha, she doesn't get talked into existence. She gets acted into existence. She is esteemed through esteemable acts. And right now you do a lot of esteem for other people, but you don't do esteem for yourself. You don't keep your promises to yourself. And you have to do it. You have to do it to build the muscle of Balance-Centered Tisha. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Okay. So Mary goes.
And it's kind of fun.
It is very fun. It is very, Rose actually was very, very noisy that first week. And the one thing that Rose hates most of all is to be embarrassed. So the voice would not stop. And I was trying to quit smoking, and it was just like a constant barrage of you shouldn't, it's not. And then if I picked up a cigarette, she would come back and go, see, you can't say anything. So it was just a constant barrage. And I literally threatened her and said, Rose, if you do not keep your front door shut, I am going to sing out loud in the middle of the aisle at Ralph's. She shut up because she hates to be embarrassed. So you may have to want to do that. But, and I know that they say, if you talk to someone, if their voices in your head, you're crazy. I'm here to tell you that if you do not separate out and calm down the voices in your head, it will drive you crazy. And it sounds like it's already done that because your schedule's so out of whack, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So let me warn you, there is one more voice that I'd like to bring up. And she's the brat. We all have a brat. My brat's name is Agnes. So she's the one that sits in the back seat and says, well, haven't been exercising for a year anyway, so why start now? You're fine. You have clothes, you dress well, you hide whatever you don't want seen. It doesn't matter. You're good. Or there's that cartoon that says, my bathing suit says I should go to the gym, but my sweatpants say you're fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
So beware of that voice. That's the brat. She's the little, who's the boss of me? You're not the boss of me. So just be, and same talk goes to her. And what's your brat's name? What should we call her?
Susie. I don't know where that just came from.
All right.
That's
Susie.
what came up.
Susie, thank you very much. Why don't you go sit there by Mary? She has a lollipop for you. But we're going to do this. We really want to do this. How's that?
That sounds good, and it's creative, and it's in a fun way.
Yes.
It's like a tangible way I can work with that.
Good. So your homework is just get up half an hour earlier, and you're going to brush your teeth and then go out and hula hoop. And you're just going to, it'll be your moving meditation. And every time you have a thought, you just say thought and you keep going. Because you will do enough every day. And then the second part of it is, and I'm running out of time, Jarvis is yelling at me. So the last thing I want you to do is write this down. Every night before you go to bed, have I done the best that I could with the time that I have, with the resources I had? Have I done the best that I can with the time that I had and the resources I have? And you should be saying yes 88% of the time. Actually, it should be 100% of the time.
Got it.
So then you're not looking for other people to say you did a great job. You're baking your own cake.
Right.
All right?
I love it.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
And you have a business that you would like to mention.
Yes, I teach bully prevention and coach families through that process.
For what prevention?
My website is www.choosingpeace.org.
Oh, beautiful. Choosingpeace.org.
Correct.
I will go take a look at that. Thank you so much, Tisha, from LA,
Thank you.
for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you are relating and enjoying these beautiful women callers who are asking how to claim their birthright to be happy 88% of the time. And I'm so grateful for all the supporters that I continue to have as you tune in. And this show would not be possible without my sponsors. So if you have a product, service, book, or event that you would like highlighted and spotlighted by Dr. Marissa, or if you have a product that you would like to give away for my hashtag Asian Oprah giveaway. Yes, I was introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah by my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And her response was looking at me, looking down, looking at me again, smiling and saying, "Nice pants." And it took everything for me not to say, "Do you want them?" Would love to be able to promote you on the show. So please do contact me at drmarissa.life. Or if you'd like to be a guest, just go to drmarissa.life and look under the tab of Radio TV. And we'll be back with more advice from Dr. Marissa, your kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, when we return on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, Audible, Amazon Music, TuneIn, and more. And now, another caller getting your life tires balanced and your stinking thinking smog checked. Enjoy.
Please give a warm welcome to Angela from LA. Welcome, Angela.
Hi there. Good morning.
Good morning.
Recently, I lost my sister.
Oh.
I lost my sister, and
I
feel like I missed it. Like, she had done a lot of work at pushing people away, but I always, I never really took that seriously. But I just, it was surprise for us.
It was I'm sorry?
I feel like it was a surprise.
Oh.
We didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh.
And the last few months, I really had felt connected to her prior to her going into the hospital.
What happened? What happened?
She went in for because she couldn't breathe.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I guess the friend that she was with brought her to the hospital, and then left her there. And by the time the friend returned, she had arrested, and her temperature went up, and she had a seizure, and she suffered brain damage to the part of her brain that makes her who she is. And
Angela, I am so sorry. I'm holding your hand. I've got my arm around you right now. I want you to feel what you're feeling, and tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. It's good to cry. It really is. It doesn't feel good all the time, but it's good to cry. Because of course, you miss her. But I know where she is, and I promise you that she's okay. I promise you. She's with my dad. She's with Michael. She's with a lot of loved ones, I'm sure. What was her name? What is her name? Not was.
Susan.
Susan. So Susan is actually here because life is eternal. She's not in her body anymore. And you know that. And I know you know that in your head. And I know that you know that in your heart. The head part sometimes talks to us and doesn't necessarily give us comforting thoughts. If there's any, woulda, shoulda, couldas, I wish that I had, or I shouldn't have this, or I should have done that, all those voices in the committee are not helpful. So I want you to know, and I feel that Susan wants you to know, how much she loves you, continues to love you from a different place. And there was nothing that you could have done differently to make yourself feel bad about. Do you believe me? Do you believe me? I want, and you don't have to believe me because you don't really know me, but I know you. I know who you are. I feel who you are. We connected with breath. There's no accident that you're calling. There's no accident that you lined up. Everything, I promise, everything's going to be okay. I promise. And with the pain that you're feeling is completely okay. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. It's supposed to hurt, It's not supposed to feel good. But you don't have to beat yourself up at all about anything. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking for those reasons, and that's what some of the pain is.
Mm-hmm. I know. I can feel it. I can sense it.
The moment, and like, it just keeps coming. There's just more things that the family's doing or not doing and saying or not saying, that it just keeps this rebirth of birthing this pain. And like, I feel like I'm not really able to just be with the grieving. And I thought I was done with, like, last week when it was so still, and I mean, it was hurting, but it was more like I was realizing things about her presence and about the things I missed. When I was younger, we grew up together, so I had a lot of experiences with her that as we get older, it didn't make sense. We were so close.
It doesn't matter.
And then
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What you had.
So it was like
what you had was.
It was more like a remembering.
Right. And I want you to do that. Okay, give me the best.
Healing.
Give me the best memory that you have of her. Where were you? Where were you?
Best memory.
Where were you? About how old were you? Is she older than you or younger than you?
She's older than me.
Okay. So give me the best. Where were you when you were smiling the most with her?
I have this picture of us where I was sitting on the sofa, and she was in her goofy grin. She had some of her teeth missing in the front, and I was curled up next to her. And I had forgotten. This is what I'm saying. Like, I keep getting memories are being restored to me. And that promise that they say in the Bible that He will restore what the locusts have eaten away. I am getting that, and I want to be and stay right there.
Yes, and you can.
And I feel like,
and you can. This is what the power that you have is choice. And I want you to take that picture, and I want you to take it with you, and I want you to, when you're at home, leave it on the fridge. And I want you to look at it often, and I want you to try to stay there. Okay, so let me give you one visual about your emotions. And you had mentioned that last week you thought it was done. I have some good news and some bad news. the healing process from loss is going to take, like the healing process or the birthing process of birth, which is 9 months. So I have found with my clients that, in 9 months is a normal time for you to have the ebb and flow of the emotions that come with loss. So, waves in an ocean, I want you to take that picture with you.
Yes.
I want you to go to the beach once a week and just spend some time talking to her and going over those memories and letting your heart heal. So,
Oh my God. Okay.
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 Yeah. And it's going to be a beautiful process for you. This is about healing you. And she's got you curled up on its side.
To be like that right now.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself. We get these messages when we grow up that we have to give of ourselves until it hurts, or we have to do things for others until it hurts. And we get the order wrong. It's, I don't know if you call God or source or whatever it is. It's that thing that's bigger than us is first. And then after that, it's us. It's not other people. If we give ourselves until there's nothing to give, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You deserve, you're worthy, you're good enough. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you feeling the way you do. There's nothing wrong with wanting to take care of you. That's good. And by taking care of you, you're an example. And there's going to be times where people are going to reach out to you. And when they reach out to you, you can do as much as you can. And you can help and hold their hand as they feel the waves come in and out. You can ask them to go to the beach with you. And when it gets too much, if they're starting to mimic any of the critical voices in your head, you have a choice to say, I'm sorry, I just can't talk about it right now. I love you. And then hang up the phone. Or leave the room. That's your choice. This is a beautiful learning for an expansion for you. That having your sister transition to another dimension is allowing you to give yourself the worthiness and the love that you are. That's what this is doing. In this particular circumstance, exactly as it is, as painful as it is, you're being asked to birth in yourself the skill and ability to love yourself up. Does that resonate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's your choice whether you want to get wrapped up in all of the words and all of the fights and all of the conflict and all of the who loved her more or who should have done more or why didn't, we not let her push us away or why, weddings and funerals bring out the worst in people. It's just one of those adages. And you don't have to add to it. You can center yourself. You can balance yourself in the love that you are. You will never lose what she was to you and what you are to her. That's eternal. We're eternal beings. She's in another dimension. She really is. I know it. Do I have proof? There are some studies, but I just know. But I also know that when I lost my dad to lymphoma, unexpected, 8 months, and he was gone. I never expected that to happen. And I had a hard time at the beginning. I didn't think it was fair. And he was the guy that I could fall into, right? He was my net. And she was your big sister. But the reality is, I know and I celebrate now. I know where he is. He's not gone. Susan's not gone. They're just in another place. And their passing is bringing out something in you that is so beautiful for you to look at and recognize. And it will birth this strength in you to focus. You have the choice. You have the choice. You have the choice. Do you see it?
I receive that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And anytime, I'm not a person that says you should not grieve. People do criticize me sometimes because I don't let people marinate. I don't want you, in a year from now, if you're still suffering in the marinade of loss and grief, then, we have to do a little reset. But this was last week or 2 weeks ago. This is normal. This is okay. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. And it is going to be like waves. It's going to come in. But every wave, what does it do? It replenishes us. It soothes us. You know how waves come in? They just calm us down. That's what your emotions are going to do. It's okay. It's normal.
I guess, because I have a sense, or it appears that in our family, especially with the women, like mother, daughter, there's like this severe, like, just disturbance in the mother-daughter relationship. Like my sister and her daughter were estranged for years. Like her daughter didn't want anything to do with her. After all of the asking from the family for her to just forgive her, she wouldn't. And my sister had some disease she was fighting with, and he wouldn't stop, wouldn't give it up, and so her daughter wouldn't continue the relationship. But even with my mom, my sister, and my mother, I still feel a little bit like I feel very betrayed and hurt by my mother, and I don't have a very open line to her. And like I was saying, over the last few months, before any of this happened with my sister, I was trying to connect with her and calling her. She didn't return my calls, but I felt like it was this feminine, like, honoring the feminine inside of our family, and because it's so patriarchal, we have so many men, and there's so much power, and there's so much like pressure, and it's just it doesn't make any room for feeling. And our boys don't feel, our men don't feel, there's not this open talking about unless it's done a certain way. And I was really reaching into my sister and accessing that because I felt like she had brought that to me, and I didn't know that was her gift.
Right.
And so as I started unveiling that more and more, then this happened, and it just looked like the biggest, like a hoax, the biggest, coolest joke to bring me to a point. And maybe she wouldn't have been the same person to give me the gift that my memories have insulated for me, but the thing is I feel like it's playing out with my own child now.
Right.
And in this moment, she was brought in from where she lived, and my brother orchestrated this entire thing, and no one asked me, like, do you want your daughter, if you want her to come stay with you while, we wait for the services this weekend. Nobody asked me. They just took her away and had her spend the night in some stranger's home. Like, the person isn't living. It's very bizarre.
Right.
And so I worry that there's this curse, there's this lesson, this familial lesson that is like inscripted in this DNA of whatever I picked up, whatever.
Okay.
Coding.
Okay.
I need to get rid of this.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad that you just like gave it all out, which is good. Okay. You just emptied all of that stuff that's been blocking you, which is good that you did that. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of concepts, some balance tools that I want you to balance out all of the stuff that you just gave me. You ready?
Okay.
You ready? All right. Okay. Number one.
Please.
Yes. Number one. There's only 2 times in life when there are no issues with your mother. 2 times. You ready? When you're born, and when you die. Those are the only 2 times when you don't have issues with your mother. It is a normal, fortunate thing that mother-daughter relationships are the most intense and the most difficult to work through. Okay. It's very rare that you don't have mother issues. So if you have mother issues, you're in the majority. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with you. That's number one. Ready? Number two. I love Edwene Gaines. She says, your mother's job and your job as a mother, your only job is to pop out the baby. Anything else is gravy. So what does that mean? That means if they gave birth to you, if you gave birth to a child, your work is done at the very base. If you're a good, healthy, functional mom or daughter on top of that, that's gravy. That's number two. Ready for number three?
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
Our job is just to do better, a little bit better, than the generation before.
Mm-hmm.
Because my guess is that system that you're talking about, it didn't start with your family. It went back and back and back and back, correct? Every single family has a pattern of dysfunction that keeps alive every generation, because of course it's
That's
alive,
true.
right? Because you not
Yes,
only
my grandmother moved. Yes, my grandmother moved all the way to Mexico and lived there, like
exactly.
with all of her wonderful grandchildren.
Exactly. So the dysfunction starts way back, and it's our job just to do a little better. It's not our job to fix it. It's our job is to learn from what didn't work with us and don't repeat it with our kids. It's not to fix everything. It's not going to get fixed in one generation because it's encoded. It's not only in our genetics, it's in the modeling that we learn as children.
Yeah.
So quit being so hard on yourself that you can't fix all of this stuff that's going on. Don't pick up the arrow. If people are shooting arrows at each other, don't go run after the arrow. Pick it up and go, oh, it's hurting me, it's hurting me, it's hurting me. It's not your arrow.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay? You just, this is the same way this situation is giving you the ability to learn and grow, maybe in compassion towards self, compassion towards other, understanding towards self, understanding. The same situation's giving that same opportunity to others. Let them take it. Don't try to fix it. It's not yours to fix. It's their path. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is a beautiful afternoon.
It is a beautiful afternoon. And you know, it's we cannot control people. It's really one of the most frustrating things in life is when we have this illusion of control. We have this, you know, if you would just behave in this way, I would not get mad. If you would just say this, I would not be unhappy. And one of my teachers, Abraham, and through Esther Hicks, says, can you have unconditional love? Unconditional love is not you let anything go. Or anything goes. Unconditional love is, can I be loving? Or unconditional happiness, can I be happy? Regardless of what condition is going on, regardless of what the family's doing, regardless of where your daughter's staying, regardless of, can I stop and just center down, take that breath, reach down to the love and close my eyes and remember the feeling of me and the sight of me curled up beside my sister. Can I go there? Can I choose to go there and center myself and come from a place of love regardless of what's going on? That's muscle building. That doesn't come naturally. That takes work. But the reward is that it feels so much better. Just now, look at your sound is different. You sound different right now. Do you feel different? When you just said, it's a beautiful day, that was not the same voice that I talked to 27 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And nothing happened, right? Nobody came and said, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done this. If we're waiting for the apology, we are letting and allowing people to put a condition on our happiness. It's not easy. Sometimes it means that you have to say, I'm sorry, I love you, can't talk right now. It's okay to do that. It's really okay to do that. All right?
Yeah.
I am so blessed to have been able to talk to you. I just know that this was exactly what it was supposed to be. I know that everything's going to be okay. I know that the love that is going to explode through your heart as you continue on through this process is going to help yourself first and your family second. Peace and blessings to you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Angela. All right. I love my show. I love Angela, and I love the opportunity just to, I always say, speak through me, don't let me get in the way. And that was definitely, I didn't mean to say all that, but I'm glad that it was said through me. And
I hope you are relating these beautiful women callers who are finding out how to claim their birthright to be happy 88% of the time. And that's it for today's show. This is the end of the show. Sorry that I have to go. Can you tell I love singing? By the way, I actually have my original songs on my website. If you haven't seen that, I am a retired lounge lizard who spent some years performing all over in piano bars. And it was really great the first 2 sets when people were listening and not too drunk. And I gave it up because by the last set, it really doesn't matter what I was singing. And I do write my own music. So I kind of like it when people pay attention. But anyways, you can get those songs on drmarissa.life. I am Dr. Marissa, reporting live from my living room, reminding you that it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go forth and multiply the amazing woman that you are. And remember, have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.